Welcome to the Underground, my little underground with Peter A.
After 5 long years, Jasamine White-Gluz of No Joy is back on My Little Underground to talk about her brand new album, Bugland. And she's coming back to New York City for the first time in a long time, September the 4th at Trans Pecos. We get into Jasamine's time as a music journalist, the importance of touring, living a rural lifestyle, and so much more. So please help me welcome back to My Little Underground, Jasamine White-Gluz of No Joy.
My Little Underground.
It's been 5 years since your last album, Motherhood, and in that space between albums, how did you find inspiration again, or do you purposely take extended breaks to kind of find yourself again creatively?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like putting out a record takes a lot out of me. So you put out the record and then you tour, and it's quite I don't know, it takes a lot out. So by the time the record's out and I've toured and all that stuff, it ends up being about like 2 years or something after the release. And in this case, that's when I started working on Bugland. I started working on Bugland probably in like 2022, 2023, maybe 2023. So I had been working on it pretty soon after, but it just takes a while. I wouldn't say that I'm a perfectionist, but I do kind of like let things marinate, and then I go by like vibe. Like if I feel like it's ready, then I think it's ready to be put out. But it's not really intentional. I just feel like I work better that way. And I also don't put out everything that I do. So I only want to release things that I'm like 100% confident in. So like no filler,
What
all
made you
killer.
confident this time around? Like all the stuff that you put out for Bugland, what made you feel like, yeah, this is right to put out?
Um, I felt like there's a few things for me about music that if it's something that I need to listen to over and over and again, and I hear different things every time, to me, that usually means there's something there. So these songs really struck me like there was something, uh, we put so many layers in it. So I felt like it was really dense. Um, and I don't know, I just go on like gut instincts kind of. The last song that we mixed and that we finished was Jelly Meadow Bright. And when I heard the final mix of that one, I was just like, okay, we're done. That's the record. That's the last song on the record. We're done. And I just kind of like follow that instinct a little bit. So nothing scientific, just like all feeling.
Right. Isn't that what music is? It's not really
Yeah. Yeah.
scientific to an
I,
extent.
I think some people might argue there is science to it, but I don't know that science part. I just know the the gut instinct that you follow, and it makes you feel something.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you've since moved into a more rural setting
Yeah.
outside of Montreal.
Yeah.
How has that inspired you creatively and brought out, the Bugland in you?
Yeah. I mean, tremendously, because it just opened my eyes to like, I don't know, I love nature, and I got to be up close with it and like spend time with it. And it was part of me. It was where I was living. So I got to really sort of like, yeah, take my time with it and look like there's a butterfly, and I just like watch the butterfly, and it's like so trippy. Um, and it was a nice break. Like it was a nice pause from touring and recording and that sort of thing that it felt really city to me. So taking a break and just moving at a slower pace here kind of inspired me to like think about sounds a little bit differently. Um, so yeah, it changed, I think, my entire part of it also maybe is like it's a little more isolated out here. So for whatever reason, I don't think I was influenced by much other music. Like I wasn't like feeling like I wasn't hearing trends or like falling into styles that were popular. I was so isolated from it. So I'm just like literally just sitting around trees and it's just like listening to trees.
I think a lot of people are gonna, including myself, are gonna take this album and kind of go outside with it
Hmm.
and just
Hmm.
kind of be with, your surroundings and kind of
Yeah.
take in this music.
Yeah.
Even at home, listening at home, I'm like, oh wow, like it's really it's not like, oh, sing along, here's the hook, here's the chorus, it's not that. It's very
Hmm.
just introspective, but you can share it with people, You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Music trends and the way the world works now, everything is fast. And even music, people put out music like either every 6 months or every year, or every 2 years or a certain cycle. Have you ever in your lifetime felt the pressure to like, okay, this trend is happening, let me see where I fit in there?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever tried to fit in a trend. I think there's definitely been demand to like put out stuff quickly and put out music quickly, either because, like um when we put out Pastel and Pass Out, that was like right after Wait to Pleasure. And it was done very quickly because we were going on tour, and Wait to Pleasure was kind of popping off. So it was like we need something else to go along with that. But for me, I don't really follow any trends. Actually, I my instinct is to do the opposite. Like if I see something is trending or there's like something that's popular, to me it means it's already over. So like don't even bother. Um, I kind of like doing things that are like not expected or seem like they might be bad. Like seem like they might be like really off, and they're like, well, people will catch up to it.
So, you and
Yeah.
your creative partner for Bugland, Fire Tools, had a CD in the car test for some of the mixes of this album, and I find it fascinating because when I had a car and I would listen to music in the car, the CDs especially, to me that was like a test because like the a car speaker system is tremendous. You're hearing so many different things. So, what was the importance
Yeah.
of this to your work?
I think one is because my car only has a CD player. And so driving around listening to stuff in the car is like it's a pretty good test. And I feel like with a lot of musicians probably do this where like people are going to listen to your music in different formats. And so you kind of want to hear what it sounds like in a car, or what it sounds like obviously on vinyl, or what it sounds like through a really bad earphone, or like so you kind of want to hear what stands out in what medium. And that helps when mixing to say like, okay, well this only really jumps out when you're like on a surround sound amazing, studio monitors, but when you're in the car you don't hear that part, so we got to kind of like adjust the mix. um but I think like driving and listening to music is like, I think one of the life's greatest pleasures, so I always try to listen to my mixes while I'm driving. And in this case both of us we were driving through our respective like countryside locations, listening to the mixes, and that kind of informed a little bit some of the choices.
So I want to talk about like your music journalism period. Your time
Yes.
period with Exclaimed, because I also did a little like music writing for a very, very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Um, and the one thing that
Hmm.
stood out to me is so you said you wanted to ask non-traditional, out of the box questions to artists, which I'm also a fan of. I love watching Nardwuar. He's the king of that. What kind of
Yeah.
questions would you
Yeah.
ask?
I mean, I think when I was doing that, I was asking like pretty stupid questions, like really like, you know, cupcakes or brownies, or like apples or orange, like pretty like not even music related things, just to like get a little bit of the personality in there, and also to just be a little weird, I think, just to like, I don't know, loosen up the artist. Sometimes, when you do a million press interviews, you can have like stock answers, I guess. But if you're a band on tour or something like that. So I think when I was asking questions, I was trying to get them on their toes to not know what to say. um, but yeah, we were doing that kind of, I was doing that in a way also just to get into shows, just to like get a press pass so I could go to as many shows as I could.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah.
that's it's fascinating because yeah, like a lot of artists like they're trained to like avoid certain topics. I guess like
Hmm.
like you said, you hit down the head. Like a lot of people, they're asked a million questions and the same questions over and over again. You throw a curveball like
Yeah.
brownies or cookies, they're like,
Yeah.
"What? Oh, all right, this is
Yeah.
different."
Yeah. Like, what do you, yeah. And then why? Why do you like cookies better? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't know. And it's just like a harmless question
yeah.
that's like, it's kind of fun.
During your time,
Yeah.
doing music press and in all the experience you've had dealing with artists, when you became an artist yourself, were there certain things that you didn't want to be asked or didn't really want to talk about in interviews? Did you ever have to like have that conversation?
Probably. I don't think there was anything that I wouldn't be comfortable talking about. I think at the beginning there was a lot of like, you're a female fronted band from LA. And be like, no. Ah. So that was always a little like, okay, come on. But there's nothing really that's like off limits, I guess. Um, no, I never really had to hide anything. And honestly, sometimes I prefer to answer it because sometimes there's questions, like, oh, you were a four-piece band and now it's like a solo project. Like, what happened to the band? It's like, I don't, we're all still good friends. Like, I don't know. Some people just didn't want to tour that much. And like after 10 years, you change what you want to do sometimes. Like it's not that exciting of an answer. Um, but like sometimes I would prefer to just give the truth than have somebody run with an answer that they think
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is,
Like when did the female fronted question stop?
Oh my God. Honestly, I don't even know. It, I think I like black out when I hear it. Like just, but it was definitely around a lot at the beginning. A
I
lot at
think
the
it's
beginning.
probably
Yeah.
because there were a lot of like male centric scenes, and some people probably just not used to seeing
Yeah.
like an all woman band aside from
Yeah.
the people they know
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, it's
But it's
true.
not. I'm not
It's
making
true.
excuses for that. But I
I
was
mean, it's
just
fine.
saying.
I'm not offended by it, but I was just kind of like, that was a question that would happen. Like, how does it feel to be like a female friend band? Like, what do you mean? Like, how does it feel? I don't know. How do you answer that?
So you have some regret of some of your negative reviews? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I was reviewing records and live stuff in like mid 2000s, like 2005 to 2008 or something like that. Um, and I was like pretty influenced by Buddyhead and Vice and these kind of like shocky, um, crude or like kind of the journalist style was just like a little bit more rough. And um I don't think I wasn't a touring musician at that point, so I didn't have extreme amounts of empathy for like people just having a bad night, but I have definitely had like bad shows. And if somebody wrote a review of it and like ripped me apart like I did to some people, I'd be so pissed. Um, so it's like more of I don't think I was thinking of things or like reviewing some of the music thinking outside the box. I was thinking more just like what's my initial thought on this. And some of it was like stuff that maybe it wasn't in my wheelhouse and I was reviewing it and maybe I just didn't understand it. So that's why with music journalists, I'm just like, damn, you get so much music all the time and you're supposed to like listen to all this and give everything time. And like, how do you, it's so, yeah, I respect them because I don't think I was a great music
I
journalist.
see a lot of, maybe you've noticed this too. A lot of music press are now rescoring their albums that they may have given a poor review in the past.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I think I think some music ages better. I think also some music in the context of like an artist's career, maybe you look back and you're like, oh, they actually had something pretty good there because maybe it influenced like a whole style of music or a whole generation of artists. And some things are misunderstood at the time if they're a little bit ahead of the curve, I think. Um, so I'm for going back and reviewing stuff. I also think you can do the opposite. I think you can go back and like be like, wow, I felt that was so good then, but listening back now, like, what the fuck? Like, definitely my reviews, like, I was so into, I don't know, like Further Seems Forever or something like that, like some Christian emo. And it was like, if I went back now, thinking of things like on a bigger scale, maybe it wasn't like the 5-star review I gave it. But yeah, so I think it's okay to go back and review your reviews.
As a publication, what you said, you should stand by it. But as individuals, as
Hmm.
individual music fans, what you
Yeah,
hated, it can age,
yeah,
like you said, like can age differently.
yeah,
But I feel weird about like a publication
yeah,
saying, I gave this album this review and now
yeah,
I'm going back because everybody likes this now
yeah.
or everybody hates this now. I don't know. I don't know how I
Right,
feel about that. It's a little weird to
right.
me.
Yeah. To do with like whoever's in charge at the time. Like if an editor at a magazine or something was like really into his friend's band or whatever and like gave something really good review, but then when the editor leaves and it's a new editor, maybe a new fresh eyes and ears on it, maybe it's like, wait a second, we have to review this again. So I don't know, but I think I just have admiration for
Yeah.
music journalists because it's hard. There's so much out there, and to be coming up with new angles and new stories and listening to things with fresh ears all the time, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Do you feel like these days you have to tour, or do you feel like, oh, you know what? Let me get out here. Let me see the people.
I think you have to tour. I am admittedly like performing is not my favorite part of everything in music. I'm pretty shy, so getting up on stage is like a little bit of it's always quite like a mental gymnastics for me. Um, I love the live show experience and I love connecting with people and I love bringing the show or performing the songs live. And I love meeting new people and being in new places. But it is the least natural of all the things that come with putting out a record. It's the least natural for me. So doing tours this time, but like nothing, back in the day we would do like months, blocks of like, 8 weeks, 8 weeks, 8 weeks, tons of touring. This time it's like a little more selective just because it's hard to keep going and like stay on the road for a really long time. So I'm choosing to just do them in little bits instead.
And, with the live experience, right? The last time I saw you live was like in 2017. You were kind of like still like your last piece of like a traditional band, and then you just became
Right,
Jasmine, which
right,
is
right.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's still it's pretty similar to 2017 in that it's like we still have guitars and drums and um it's still very loud and that part of it doesn't change like that the live sort of like volume and cathartic noise is still definitely there. We just kind of tweak things a little bit so that there's more dynamic and it's a little more consistent. And for vocals, there's like a little bit more for me to do um, because I spent like 10 years competing with stage volume and I don't have the loudest voice. So now it's like we've balanced that out a little bit, but I definitely have to practice. Like I haven't, I'm not somebody
Hmm.
that like rehearses a lot. So it's going to be kind of loose also. Um, but that's fun. That's fun to be kind of like on the fly a little bit.
But that's kind of where your music is. Your music is kind of like like
Yeah.
an audio
Yeah.
collage anyway. So doing that in a live setting is even
Yeah.
better. If it sounds different than what I
Yeah.
hear on a record, that's even better.
Yeah, I think so. It's not going to sound exactly like the record, but it'll be just like a another version of it.
What are some of your thoughts on like kind of how the music world is now after coming out of COVID? Are you changing, you're doing lighter tours and stuff like that, but like
Mhm.
the broader music landscape and how you release music, are you different at all since before COVID?
I think so. I think there was probably like quite a boom of touring in 2021, maybe. When I went out and did a West Coast tour. Did we do East Coast too? I think we did. Yeah, 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 we did. So we did like a month or something in 2021, and I think there was quite a surge of touring, and then I think stuff got expensive. Like it's hard for people to, myself included, to pay for tickets for shows, and it adds up as a viewer of concerts. It's expensive. It's expensive to get into the to buy the tickets, and there's all the taxes, and then if you want to buy merch, so I think just the cost of everything has gone up so much. So you kind of want to keep things affordable for people to go, as well as affordable for you to be touring. So I think that has changed a little bit. I mean, I also try and keep things COVID safe, which is also beyond COVID, just like keeping, when you're on tour, you're kind of at the mercy of like wherever you are. If you're in like a tiny backstage or a hotel, or you don't have like a home base where it's your stuff, you're kind of just like floating around. So I try and make sure that we stay healthy and try and be as like cautious about keeping an environment that's like, healthy and clean. And that includes like eating well on tour and like going to the gym and stuff like that, and like trying to maintain that. um but in past tours before COVID, I definitely was not doing that. I was definitely, eating not the best, and like going to bed really late. I mean, I guess I can't control going to bed really late if the shows are late. I would love to go to bed early all the time. If we
Oh
could make the shows
yeah,
at 5
same.
p.m., that would be ideal. That'd be great for me because I go to bed so early.
You gotta spend time with the bugs. You gotta let the butterfly serenade you.
I know. When they go to bed, I go to bed. You know
Yeah,
what? It's true.
exactly.
It's true. It
All
really
right,
is.
Jasmine, it's so good to talk to you again. I love the album.
Yeah.
Anything you want to
Likewise.
plug? This is your time.
Thank you. I mean, the tour, I guess. We're coming to New York September
Fourth.
4th. I was like, what day is it? But we haven't played New York, I don't think, since that time. 2017, maybe? Or do we play since then? Maybe 2018. But I think it was 2018. But it's been a minute. So I'm really excited to go back because it's, one of the best places in the world. So all those shows, and then Europe and UK and the West Coast as well, California, Washington, Oregon. So just the shows are coming up, and it would be fun to see everybody again because, like I said, we're not going to be doing a ton of touring. So this is kind of the chance to see us if you want to see us.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Of
Yeah,
course. I'll see you in New York.
absolutely.
My Little Underground.